Hi, this is Chaz Palminteri, and if you're thinking about getting your eyes done, the only person to see is Dr. Rothman of LASIK of Nevada. I flew all the way from New York to be here, and Dr. Rothman did my eyes. And all I could say is, it's a miracle. I could see. You see Dr. Rothman of LASIK of Nevada.
Living in Las Vegas starts now. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome from Las Vegas, Nevada, that groovy little podcast that gives you a true first-person look into what it's like to call Sin City your home. The Living in Las Vegas podcast. And now your host, a man who clearly needs some kind of introduction, otherwise you wouldn't know who he was, Mr. Scott Whitney.
Ouch. You know what? That hurt. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Frontal Lobotomy Podcast. Oh, man. For those of you listening to the audio version, you missed a painful little trickery thing there. Anyways, hey, look at me. I'm here with somebody not my wife. Hey-o. But I touch him the same way. That's not right. You know what? This is going. Can we start all over?
Take two.
Can we just take a second one? Anyways, real quick introduction. This is my. Normally I would say my Naughty Jelly Sweet. Of course, I can't say that about Wayne. That's just silly. So I wrote down Naughty Jelly Donut Hole, and Wayne said no. Understand? So there he is, the man, the myth, the legend, Wayne Corral. Big hand,
Thank
everybody.
you. Thank you.
Also known as
back.
Pimpin' Wayne, yo. And he really is a pimp. He's married because he's a pimp. We should probably talk about that sometime. Don't you think?
Yeah, we'll screen it first.
It's a good
I gotta
story.
run it through the standards and practices.
It's a good story. Right, you don't think your wife would like the whole I'm a pimp, you don't know story?
She could. I'll send out some feelers.
That's how he started the whole relationship, really. Anyways, hey, there's a couple ways you can reach out to. Hey-o. That's why he's here, by the way. He promised to do two things for me. A, hey-o, and we've got beer underneath this little table over here. By the way, this show is brought to you again by Select 55, or in my case, about Select 330. All right. A couple ways to contact us. You can do email, which is onairq@livinginlv.com. That's onairq@livinginlv.com. You could do toll-free number, which is 866-966-4599. And, of course, we've got the live chat, which is available. Operators and Wayne is standing by. By the way, big hand for our live studio audience. Big crowd today. And, of course, a tip of the hat, if you will, to the groovy people in the live chat.
Yeah, my chat people.
Couple things. Let's talk a little bit about. By the way, I would also argue that this episode is brought to you by Spanx for Men. Because we need it. You know, we normally would be doing our weight loss update, but I've been gone for 10 days. I gained 0.9 pounds. Was that a from the audience?
The crowd gasps.
They're like, God, he is a fat ass, isn't he? Wayne, you gained a little weight, you said. You promised.
I found some back. Lost
some,
found it back, so.
Okay, let's get into the news. Quickly, some Vegas Video Network news. First of all, accolades, attaboys, attagirls. Another tip of the hat to Bridget Magnus from the show, that's right, Getting Real Estate in Vegas. She informed me that she is of the top 25 Las Vegas realtors here in, Las Vegas. Top 25% of all of them. There's only 5 of them here in Las Vegas anymore. So she's number 1. Anyways, that's pretty cool. Good for Bridget. Also in the Vegas Video Network news, we put out a post yesterday talking about the fact that we're hiring. We've been expanding a little bit here at the network, and as a result, we're looking to do more expansion. For example, we had a conversation with a company today who's looking at doing some white label work where we do all the production, but they wouldn't actually be on the Vegas Video Network, and that could be mid figure kind of deal. As a result, we're looking to expand. So we've got an opening for an apprentice. It doesn't necessarily mean somebody who knows all the camera stuff. You may not have a degree in TV production, but if you do, and if you want to come to us,
Really?
You could if you wanted to, but
I think I'm in the middle of a 7-month audition, I believe. So
you're, well, that and I think probably your benefits are better. For example, you have some. Anyways, if you're interested, we're looking for people who are technically capable. You kind of get the computery stuff. If you do, we'll teach you really everything you need to know to run this network. And I think it'll be a lot of fun. So we've got a web page that has all that information on it for you. I think we could bring that up again real quick. And so check it out. You'll send your information to jobs at vegasvideonetwork.com. Again, that's jobs at vegasvideonetwork.com. And we would love to hear from you guys. We've already received several of those kinds of emails, and we're going to go through them right now. And looking forward to having people help good people like Wayne, for example. Right?
It's good to be here. I'm glad you were able to bring me on. I know when you were looking for a co-host, your first option was Jacob. Obviously, he has to run TriCaster.
Right.
But it was good that then your next option was Jackie, but she was probably not free on Skype. But the call came in. Finally on the depth chart, there I am. Throw down the clipboard, put on the helmet. Here I am.
It's like Moneyball. I'm like, oh, I don't think I need Jackie. She's too expensive, and Skype's hard to use. Wait a minute. There's Wayne. I think we'll bring him in. We'll pay him $200,000 instead of the $2 million we usually pay Jackie, and look at him. He's beautiful. He's studly. Anyways, so do it. Be a part of the Vegas Video Network because the Vegas Video Network cares.
Hey-o.
Hey-o. Okay. You know what also is going on with this beer? It is excessively bubbly. I have a lot of the bubbles here, or it's just fat. Either way, I would like something less carbonated next time. So what's been going on? We missed the show last week. Mm-hmm. We were in London. We were bringing Vegas to London, baby.
Tally ho.
Tally ho. That was ad lib. Well played there. So I share a little bit about what was going on there. It was kind of fascinating. So in the gaming world, there are two really big shows in the world, in the whole world. One of them that we all know is called G2E.
Global Gaming Expo.
Very.
I'm in the industry.
That's true. And that's in October over at the Convention Center. And the other one is this show called ICE. And ICE is in London. And so I thought, well, it's a nice show. And it's probably something similar to a knockoff of G2E. Come to find out that ICE is actually a larger show than G2E. They expected 20,000 people in London to see all these gaming folks there, and whereas at G2E there's 15,000. It's actually bigger. So I was invited by IGT, which is a large gaming company here in Las Vegas, actually the largest manufacturer of games in the world, to run some video, some live video, and some other kind of on-demand video in their booth. I had done it at G2E. It went real well, and so they flew me out to London to do that the show there. And it was really interesting. What was fascinating about it was the attitude people had about Vegas. After a while, I think it's easy to get a little, I've seen it all, I kind of get the Vegas thing, I'm not that impressed by it. But when you're in a completely different country, especially a country like the UK who has a huge affinity for Las Vegas, people just love it. And this whole show is really just a big, giant Las Vegas. It's everywhere. And so you get all these really giddy people just walking around and going, look at the lights. There's Elvis. As a matter of fact, I've got a picture of Elvis we actually had Elvis in our booth, and I got a picture of him. He's up on the that screen. You see that one? Yeah, there he is. So what I did this is the IGT booth here, more games per square foot than any other booth there. And bring that back up for a second. What you're seeing is that big screen up there is a screen that I ran. And so we had some videos that IGT produced, and then what we would do at IGT, or I'm sorry, at G2E, we actually had a live camera in there, a remote control camera that allowed me to pick shots from within the booth. What we did here is I had a cameraman assigned to me, and he would run around the booth at our direction and go capture things. So when we knew Elvis was going to be in the building, we went after him, took some pictures of him, and then came back in, post-produced it, popped it in the TriCaster, and ran that. So that picture you just saw was that kind of thing. A couple other pictures in there as well, right, Jacob? Yeah, so this is the, for folks who've asked about it, what we used to do this show, along with what I did for G2E and for ICE. What you're seeing there on the right is actually two TriCasters, two 850s, and then to the left is actually a control surface that allows you to control the TriCasters without a keyboard, and then the monitor there. So I tell you, renting from the UK, not easy.
Got to do your conversion. When they're talking, it's in pounds.
Oh, yeah.
You can't go to the gym and
no.
pick those off and give it to them.
It was, yeah, I learned a lot about conversion. None of it was very positive, actually. So anyways, other pictures of the booth. We had, the big play here was to draw people's attention to what was going on there live. And so this actually happened in that you can kind of see a balcony in the back there, and that's where this took place. They had a big deal with, I think it was the University of Finland Lottery. I forget who it was. But we did those kind of things, and it was cool. Drew a lot of people in because of that. Plus, we had Elvises, and we had Caribbean girl dancer things.
Like hula girls, or?
No, they were Brazilian girls. Carnival, because they have a carnival game. So you'd be surprised how many guys show up to the booth when those folks are running around. I didn't check it out because that would be wrong.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of fun, and hanging out in London's pretty cool. One of the things that was fascinating there was the way you travel there. Of course, they have a great, I mean a great, public transit system there. Bus and then what they call the underground tube, which I used every day to go to the show. But a weird thing happened the last day I was in London. So I get up on the tube, and I walk in there, and I see a kid, a young guy, about 25, very quiet, kind of to himself a little bit. And the first thing he does is he crosses himself really slowly.
So already the vibe is really good right now.
I tell you, so I saw that, and I was like, I'm thinking Al-Qaeda. Now, of course, Al-Qaeda wouldn't cross himself. But nonetheless, I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
this guy's a little freaky. So
Look at you with the knowledge of world religion.
that's right, look at me. So I get in there, and I see this guy real quiet, crossing himself, and he's got a book in his hand, Quran? No, Bible, probably. And he starts to read it. I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to kind of keep an eye on him. So I lean over just a little bit just to kind of get his whole feel, and he's got his feet apart, and in between his feet is a big backpack, which is usually a bomb. So I'm like, oh my God, the last day in London, I'm going to get blown up? No. So I literally stood there. I was about as far away as I am from like this camera, which is what, about 8, 9 feet or so. So I stood there the whole time, non-blinking, watching him like this. If you move, I'm taking you. You and me are going downtown. Finally, we got to my stop, which is only one stop away, and I'm like, good.
Time to go.
You can blow these other guys up. You know, I made it to Earl's, or I made it to Kensington High Street. Screw ya. Go. Come to find out, I don't think you blew anybody up. So that's my tube story. But the best part of the whole time, besides doing well for IGT, is we got to hang out with our good friends Neil and Sarah.
Oh, fun.
And yeah, we got to go to, well, they live in Stafford, which is a little town north of Birmingham, which is a big town north of London quite a bit. Now, it's about 3 hours away from London, I guess. About 2 hours away Neil drives. By the way, they drive on the wrong side of the street.
Oh, that's right. It's left-handed.
Yeah, so I am in the driver's side, but on the opposite side world. And so while he's playing A.J. Foyt, driving through all these, it's raining, he's like doing 80. And I watch it, I'm like,
I've seen Top Gear. They drive crazy over there.
So we had some fun there. We did. I got to see my first soccer game.
Football?
Football.
Mm-hmm. Did you get caught up in a riot?
Well,
Did
it's
start
weird.
a riot.
I tell you what, it's crazy there, because I have heard about the riot.
It's not a game unless there's a riot.
Well, I'll tell you, they are really freaked out about this stuff there. That used to happen a lot, not so much now. But a couple of things that were really weird. So Neil supports a team called Swindon Town. And they have different levels, right? They have the premier level, championship level, level 1, level 2. Now, Swindon's a level 2 team, not very good. But they're in the FA Cup, which is one of the big bowls there, one of the big soccer tournaments. And they are playing a team in the championship, in the championship league, 4th round. So it was a big deal that these guys made it this far. And it was at a town called Leicester, which is spelled Leicester.
Just like it sounds.
Just like it sounds. What's silent? All of it, basically. So, but this is what's crazy about this. So, if you go to a game, let's say you're a Green Bay fan, and you go to a Giant game. Vikings game. Okay. So what happens? You show up, you can wear your colors, you could sit anywhere you want, and you can enjoy the game, eat, drink, and be merry. That is absolutely not how it works in the UK. First of all, they only allocate a certain number of tickets for the away team, 5,000 out of 20,000 in this particular case. And then you can't sit anywhere. You can only sit in the corner of the stadium. So if the stadium is a big oval like this, like that, you see that? It's probably not very good. All right. So give me a black pen, would you?
I don't think it's the pen. I think it's the white paper.
Well, I think we should get a black pen. Anyway, so basically, if it's an oval, this camera here. So here's the oval, camera 2. Here's the oval. That corner, which is the corner next to the goal area, is just for the away team. And besides that, they're so freaked out about how people will react to each other that thank you. I'm going to be building a stadium right now. Stand by. See if you can see this. Oh yeah, much better. So
I feel like I'm there.
There we are.
Is that an HD?
Right. This is an HD, Swindon HD. All right, so here we are over here. The rest of all these people here are the people from Leicester. Okay. So first, they put you in the corner. Now, all the people from Swindon were there early because they're a bunch of crazy guys. But the second part was, instead of having it, go around, and here's the end of Swindon, and then the next section is the Leicester folks. Now, they don't do that either. They have a whole section that they completely leave blank. No people there, and there are cops up and down this whole row because they don't want the two different, groups of people next to each other, which I thought was frightening, actually.
Was it fenced off?
No. There's cops.
I've seen some places where it's actually fenced off with barbed wire.
Really?
So they can't get to each other. It doesn't prevent the tossing of,
babies,
urine and blood bombs, but
urine and blood bombs. Okay.
It's soccer. Over there in England, it's not so much a sport as a reason to riot.
And then the other thing is, if you go to the Green Bay game or the Vikings game, you could go in any entrance you wanted. Mm-hmm. Not with these guys. If you're the away team, you're only allowed to go into one entrance, the away team entrance, which is, those bars that go across that rotate. Mm. So it's one of those things. It's like a prison, and everybody in Europe is skinny. Everybody. Because here's my ticket. And you walk into this really dark corner of the stadium. And so all the Swindon guys are like, yeah, we're going to win. I'm like, does that freak anybody out that we're in like a little prison here? No, it's just the way it is. Okay, well, can we get a beer and go up? No. What do you mean we can't get a beer and go? Can we get a beer and stay? No. How come? Well, drinking creates violence. What? So
you don't see a lot of sober people rioting.
No. So, we went and we lost, which was too bad. And then So we finish up the day and we lose 2-0 or whatever. And we
2-0.
go 2-0. That's right, 2-0. And so we go back to our car, and they put us in this mud-filled parking lot because we were the away team. Like, oh wait, I forgot about the bar. So we got there pretty early, and Neil gets a call from his brother-in-law. Says, "Well, I'm at this particular bar. Come and meet us." What's the bar called? Whatever. Okay. So we're talking like we're going to go to this bar, right? And Neil's like, "Well, I think I'm going to do a drive-by first to make sure it's safe." Wait a minute. That seems dangerous. No, it'll be fine. We're doing a drive-by. Oh, we'll do it. So we walked by it, actually. We're about 100 feet from it, and a Swindon guy walked in there. He goes, we're okay. We'll be fine. And it was fine. But this whole drive-by thing is kind of nuts. So anyways, we leave the game. We get back in our car in this mud pit. And we waited in our car running, to get out of just the aisle we were in for 45 minutes. 45 minutes. Finally, we get out into this stream, and we're going down this minor tributary to get into the main stream to get out. So we finally get in, and here in America, we have the zipper rule, right? One car, one car, one car, one car. Like
I wouldn't so much call it a rule as a suggestion,
yeah,
a pleasantry.
It's a courtesy that is usually extended to folks, usually. Not in England. So we get in the tributary. We're going into the main place now. So we get up there, ready to go. Old guy gets about here, looks at us, dead in the eye, accelerates, doesn't let us in. This is an old guy.
Old guy. You're talking about someone else.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Nope. My naughty jelly donut is done. Okay, no, old guy. Usually old guys, I know, I'm almost an old guy, are pretty polite. So he passes up. All right. So second old guy right behind him with his son dozing out, looks at us, eye contact, goes in front of us. I'm like, what's going on here? This is so weird. So third guy comes up. He's a younger guy, a couple young guys in there. So I decide to roll down my window and basically yell at the guy, hey, come on, let us in. So I roll down my window and I stick out my hand like this, go, hey, let us in. Now, unbeknownst to me, Neil puts the car in park, opens the door, and gets out and starts after these guys. I'm like, wow, we're gonna rumble. This is it. We're gonna rumble in the UK, baby.
Couldn't riot at the game. Might as well riot in the parking lot.
Sarah's in the back going, hey, what are you doing? And Melissa's like, what are you guys doing? I'm like, what's he doing? I don't want to rumble. I'm too pretty to fight. Get back in the car, Neil. So they let us in, and we got out of there. It was fascinating. Also, quickly, went to Liverpool. This is the Liverpool train station there. Liverpool is known for, of course, the Beatles, and for the most unbelievably cold weather anywhere in the UK. We also went to this place called the Cavern, which is where the Beatles played. Oh. And we were right there. We were on the stage with the Beatles. Kind of fun.
Get a picture?
Yes. And they've been sent to me about 15 minutes ago by my beautiful wife.
Oh. Well,
so
they say better late than never.
They're really good pictures. Maybe we'll show them next week. Also, finally, in regards to London, UK in general, clearly all the stuff there was built when Napoleon was in charge or something, because the showers, first of all, bathtubs. If you've got a fat ass, you can sit in a bathtub, but you can't do anything in the bathtub. It literally hugs your hips, which is not really good if you're trying to wash your butt. I don't know. I mean, come on. But then the shower, you stand up, the showers come and hit you here. So I was actually thinking about Jacob, which I often do in a shower, and was hey-o! Okay. This is sounding very frightening. And the water was hitting me right about here, and it was like, this is in my hotel, hitting about here, and you have to step up into the shower to get that here, and of course, the water pressure is like, I don't know, showering in spit. It's like, like, oh.
It was a gentle mist.
It was like, really. Oh, this is nice. It's sprinkling. So other than that, I would recommend they just, lengthen the showers, get some water pressure there, let people drink at the soccer games, and
But you did make it out of the soccer game alive, so maybe
Yeah.
it's good that you can't drink there.
but it was fun. We had a good time. I want to thank Neil and Sarah for being amazing hosts. We actually went to a restaurant bar thing that brands itself as Las Vegas for Stafford. It was very cute. It was very
Is that like when you live here in Vegas, you go to New York, and pretend like you're in Times Square?
not that good. I mean, at least we got the things and whatever you call that girl, Statue of Liberty. This place just had like really bright lights and flashy lights and Vegas. Actually, it was pretty funny. Actually, they had a nice little bar elsewhere, but yeah, it wasn't quite Vegas. But anyways, again, thanks to Neil and Sarah for being awesome people. Thanks to IGT for the opportunity to work with you guys and having us in London. And thanks to British Airlines for not crashing both there and back.
Not a habit they usually are in, but
No.
still, you got to thank them for
Can
the
you
effort.
sleep when you fly?
No.
Yeah.
I've taken, nowadays, I don't know what are the seats like on a transcontinental flight like that? Because
Crap.
nowadays in coach, I fly my favorite airline. I was just on them a week and a half ago, Frontier. And the seats themselves are comfortable, but as far as the sleeping, the seat back in front of you is all plastic, like
Right.
hard plastic.
Right.
You've got nowhere to go.
Yeah.
So even if you wanted to sleep,
It's
it's
bad.
miserable.
Yeah, this is a 10-hour flight. We took a direct flight, 10 hours, and I can't sleep on a plane. So on the way, it's easier coming back. On the way there, though, we left at, I think it was 6:30 or so, which means that we arrived there the next day, 4 o'clock in the afternoon or so.
Well, you lose a day.
Right. So we left it Thursday night. We got there Friday afternoon, and I'm awake the whole time. So I've been awake for like 24 hours, and literally I started to hallucinate while I was like going to the hotel. I'm like being driven there. I'm talking to one of Melissa's friends at IGT, and I'm like, oh shit, was that an elephant? Like, oh my God, I am hallucinating elephants in the road. I gotta go lay down. Wow. Yeah,
Elephant.
it's crazy. That's happened to me before. No, it hasn't. I was just kidding. That's a story that I wasn't supposed to tell. Okay, with that, I think we're going to take a hallucinatory break. We're going to do a quick commercial, and then we're going to come back with some listener email. You're watching The Living in Las Vegas. That's my buddy Wayne. I'm your buddy Scott. We'll see you in a minute.
Traditional media believes that after about 3 minutes, you'll tune out. Most Vegas media companies think if it doesn't jiggle, you won't tune in. At the Vegas Video Network, we think both are wrong. The Vegas Video Network is the first and only live online broadcast network that specializes in insider news and expert views about Vegas. We combine great storytelling with the ability to watch when and where you want on your computer, mobile device, or television. Discover the real Las Vegas. Visit VegasVideoNetwork.com.
Oh, that's a range I'm not hitting.
Hey-yo.
You're a metal range. I'm a synth pop range.
Okay, right. Okay, hey, welcome to the part where we do the show about the email stuff. Should be pretty good. I got a bunch of emails, actually. We're kind of accumulating a few. I knew that Melissa wasn't going to be here today, so I thought it would be a good chance to get caught up. The same way this goes is that if a man sends an email, I'll read it. If a woman sends an email, Melissa will read it. She's not here, so I'm reading them all. Okay, first one. This is from Ronnie with an IE. Girl? Yeah, okay. Hey, Scott and Melissa. I have really enjoyed your show. Thank you for all the work you've undoubtedly done. Well, I think you should work for us at the Vegas Video Network. Here's my question. Knowing what you know now, would you still have moved to Las Vegas? Good question. Thanks. It is a good question. It's interesting, especially now. I mean, with the foreclosure rate so high, unemployment so high, I think I said this in a previous episode, everybody I know knows somebody who is either out of work or has had their house foreclosed or short sale. Same for you?
For the most part, yeah. I mean, the numbers are so high. Just playing the numbers game alone, you're bound to, unless you are living in a cave or
right.
Or
this cave. And that doesn't include the underemployed people who are working part-time and they prefer to be working
hours
full-time.
cut back, furloughs, yep.
Exactly. So it's pretty rough. It's been pretty rough. It seems to be getting a little bit better, although we talked about it in the previous show. Bridget's talked about it, that we think short sales are going to actually go up this year.
Yeah. No, I was talking with her too. She said, Bridget described it really well. She said, right now we're kind of like in the eye of a hurricane.
Yep.
And the other side, the other half of the hurricane's coming.
Yep. So, but what's been interesting for us, is I don't have a job at another company. So when I came here, I wasn't looking for a job. I already had a job. And the circle of people that I tend to deal with are entrepreneurs as well. So as a result of that, I haven't experienced that, what I would imagine is abject terror, by not having a job, worrying about your house being foreclosed, and so on. So I wasn't affected that much. Of course, if I were looking at it when I moved here to now, considering my house value has dropped in half, and we're probably underwater or close to it, if I could look back and knowing what I know now then, I probably would have sold my house in about 2006. That would have been really good. Because, I don't know, about 6 months after we took possession of the house increased in value by about $100,000. So that would have been great. But even with that, the big deal for folks is the concept of finding a job here. And I've seen this just recently. Somebody who follows the network was running around looking for a job. I've actually seen a couple people now looking for jobs and struggling to do so. And if you aren't prepared to find a job, or if you don't already have a job coming here, this would be a scary place to go, unless you're an entrepreneur and you can move your business across. So one of the things that I wanted to put out there was, we've talked about the idea of getting a job here, finding a job here before, either on the network or on the Living in Las Vegas site. So I wanted to share a couple of episodes that we've done in the past that helps people better prepare for the job search, because that, in fact, will make it whether you like living here or not. Because the other parts of here, if you like sunshine, 300 days of sunshine, pretty cool. Is it hot? Yeah. There's a question coming up about the heat that I'll answer in a minute. Entertainment doesn't get any better. Food doesn't get any better. I mean, this is a great place to live. And even the kind of artsy-fartsy things are beginning to bear some fruit with the Smith Center and so forth. So it's a pretty cool place. But if you haven't got a job, it sucks. And there's a lot of folks who don't have a job. So back some time ago on the Living in Las Vegas show, before there was a Vegas Video Network, episode 59, we did a show where Melissa talked about what she is looking for when it comes time to dealing with potential candidates. We have a link or a shot of that screen right now. Again, this is on the Living in Las Vegas website. Episode 59, tips on finding a job in Las Vegas from a senior recruiter's perspective. This is not on the Vegas Video Network site. It's only on the Living in Las Vegas site, livinginlv.com. But she did a great job of explaining what it is a recruiter who sees thousands of resumes. I mean, she used to be a recruiter at Google's, tens of thousands of resumes, what it takes to separate you from the competitive herd. Additionally, I did a show at the beginning of the life of the Vegas Video Network called Cup of Morning Sunshine. And the intent of that show, along with spreading good news, was spreading ideas that make your life, either your work or your home life, better. And we had a couple shows that revolved around the getting the job idea. And the first show was Cup of Morning Sunshine number 6, which was 5 tips on writing a resume. And again, these tips came from Melissa as well. So this is somebody who sees lots and lots of resumes. And remember, many of these resumes just get scanned and dealt with by some software. So this gave some tips on how to how to increase, again, the probability of separating yourself from all the other people who are looking for that same job. And then one of our first shows, actually it was episode number 2, we talked about if you do get an interview, whether it's a telephone interview or a face-to-face interview, how do you deal with the question, so tell me about yourself? And this is episode number 2 of Cup of Morning Sunshine. And although the show is not going on anymore, all the videos are still there. And so they're easy to get. You can get them on iTunes, and you can also get them on the Vegas Video Network website as well. So to answer your question, Ronnie, with an IE, absolutely I would do it again. I really like it here. But again, I'm not having to deal with the fact that I'm looking for a job or that my house is in foreclosure or short sale. If you're in that world, not a good place to be, would be my guess.
A lot of it boils down to persistence too, I think. It's how, just like anything else in life, how bad do you want it?
Yep.
And it's the sites, everything now is electronic, everything's online. I know the company I work for, we have 17 different properties. You can get all of our jobs on one site.
Yep.
However, you go to another site, I think MGM Mirage, they break it down individually. Each property has its own site.
Yep.
You just got to be persistent, get out there.
Yeah.
And if you want it, go find it.
I think the other thing that I've seen this on Twitter, I've seen it on Facebook, people looking for a job but doing just dumbass things on their social media sites.
Oh, geez, yeah.
Amazingly stupid things.
Woo!
That or bitching.
Mm-hmm.
Or complaining, or
my job sucks.
Yeah.
I hate my boss.
Look,
it's all public.
And
it's all being indexed by Google.
Trust
Every
me.
tweet.
Yep.
Now.
Yeah. Trust me when I tell you that any company worth its salt is going to go and check your social media footprint. Excuse me. And if you're saying dumbass things on Twitter or on Facebook, and it's exposed, I can see it, and you're making a fool of yourself, I'm simply not going to hire you. So I'd rein back the bitching and moaning about what's going on, and then do the work. Ask for help. I think that's great. The whole idea of networking, good idea. Get on LinkedIn. There's some good stuff going on there. But be cautious with the way you're speaking, because you are representing yourself, and if you do it poorly, it's just going to make life harder for you. Okay, question number 2. Hi guys. Scott, I heard you say it before, and it's true. The Chamber of Commerce should be paying the Living in Las Vegas podcast. Your show helped us decide to move here. Hey-o! Hey-o! There you go. That could have been a little quicker.
You do get what you pay for.
That's right. All right. Well, you did bring Select 340 or 50 or whatever. We really love all the great entertainment options here in Las Vegas, but we're not sure how to get the best prices for locals. Is there a place you go for special deals? Thanks for everything, Paula and James. Yes. One of the great first discoveries that we found here were these places to go to get free tickets, or close to free, mostly free tickets, if you're a local. You have to have a driver's license here in Las Vegas. I think it's Las Vegas. Is it Nevada or Las Vegas?
Nevada.
Just Nevada? Nevada, even better. So you can be a Reno and come on down here for good shows instead of that crap they have up in Reno.
Biggest little
And
city
now
in
the
world.
Living in Reno podcast. Move. Get out. It's not worth it. We use two. The first one we discovered early in the game for us, probably 2006, is a website called Show Tickets for Locals, where 4 is the number 4. There it is right there.
It's actually run by the guy with one of the shows in town, the hypnotist.
That's right. Jerry McCambridge, the mentalist, is what he goes by. So a little inside scoop for him, he was able to, he knows how that whole business works. So he created this website, Show Tickets for Locals, and it allows locals to go in and see the shows that they have for free. It used to be kind of annoying in that it was free, but they would email you the shows of the day. So you get this barrage of emails that would come to you. Could be 10, 20, 30 emails, and then you had to get on the phone and try to call. And the problem with it was, more times than not, it was busy. So you redial, and virtually you get in, hopefully, and get your thing. But if you didn't, you're out. They have changed it, I think, because of competitive pressures from the next site I'm going to tell you about. So now you don't have to do that anymore. They do email you once a day to let you know that they've got some stuff. But you go on the website, you see the list of shows, and you pick what you want, and you're ready to go. The standard rules for all these sites are that you can't tell the people around you that you got the tickets for free, and you have to show up when you say you're going to show up, or you're going to get your hand slapped, and so on. But it's pretty cool, regardless of what I think about Jerry McCambridge. Who,
2 levels of member. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Tell
oh, yeah,
your
right.
story.
There are. Well, go ahead. Well,
I'll say
I should probably not tell that story.
Maybe it's good I jumped in there.
Yeah, thank you,
Segue. 2 levels of membership on show tickets for locals. Of course, they have the free one. That's nice because the other services you're going to talk about not free.
Right.
So you can get in for free, ground level, $0 invested. And they do have a premium service, which I believe alerts you to shows an hour before the general free.
Right. They had that.
Public is allowed
and I
to go
think
out.
they just changed it to another deal where you could pay. It used to be $90 a year for that.
Mm-hmm.
And people, help me with the logic on this. So people complained about that. It was too expensive. Okay. So they said, we're going to do it different now. We're going to only charge you $10 a month.
Reverse psychology? I don't know.
Okay.
It's easier to scrape up 10 a month than 90 at once.
What? In case you're a part-time resident. Right. That's why. So if you're a part-time, if you're a snowbird, you could turn it on while you're
For the
here.
rest of us who live here all
Right.
the time,
So for
we
the,
just had to cover their
for the
30
close
bucks.
to 2 million people that
Yeah.
are here. Anyway.
We're subsidizing the snowbirds.
Right, I got it.
Great.
So I'm
Glad we could do our part.
My guess is their income went down as a result of that move. So that's show tickets for locals. Been around for a while. Everybody knows them around here, except for Paula and James, and now Paula and James know. Second one is called House Seats. I was introduced to this by Ira and Marie. And the way this works, this is pretty cool. And the class of shows here, I feel, are a bit better.
Mm-hmm.
This you have to pay to get in. And as I recall, I think the price was $80 for 2 tickets per year. And so what we did is every year, I think it's like in October, November or so, they do a kind of a recruiting thing. And so we got like 2 for 1. So we bought a membership for me and a membership for Melissa combined, so we could get 4 tickets at any given time, which makes sense. If you're a couple, you want 2 tickets for you and 2 tickets for friends. Now, Ira, I think he gets 400 tickets whenever he signs up. 8 tickets. And if you refer people, you get a deal. I think you got a deal because you referred us. But this is good. So this is now what show tickets does. The shows are always up there. You don't have to wait for a certain time. You log in. There's a little secret password. You got to get in there, and then they just have a page with all the shows. Did you show the website, just the homepage on that? Okay. So you see all the shows that are available at any given time. Mm-hmm. You click on the show, and then it shows you what's available for what day. So you're not likely to find shows the day of, with the exception of comedy shows, of which there are about 100 of them. If you want comedy in Las Vegas, you should never pay for it.
Oh, no.
Because it's free. I mean, everybody's doing it for free. But this is also the place where we saw Sgt. Pepper by Cheap Trick for free. We saw, what else? The Sinatra thing over at Wynn. We've seen, who? Blue Man Group has been on there. Anthony Cools has been on there. Barry Manilow's been on there. A much higher class of show is available on La Rev has been on there. I haven't seen half of these, but Ira apparently has seen every single show in the world. And you know what? I'm getting a green light from somebody who really shouldn't be giving me a green light. What do you got there, Jacob? I'm fascinated by what you have to tell me.
Well, I was just going to say the other option.
Oh, he's a good-looking man, right
probably
there.
not as popular, but for like day of show type things, for Wayne Brady when he was in town or anything else would be Ticks for Tonight.
No.
Not a membership-based thing. They do have locations on the Strip, so you can then picture something the day of the show. You may not have the availability that you want, but you could then pick something the day of the show if you were just a tourist in town.
Have you done it?
Yes, I have done that. Sally and I have done it. We went and saw Wayne Brady and a couple other shows, not Elvis, Mystere, and
really?
A few of the other shows like that.
Do you
on
remember?
Tickets for Tonight.
Is it always half price, or what's the discount?
It's not always necessarily half price. It depends upon the show. Sometimes it can be 40% off, 50% off, 60% off. Just depends on the show and how many tickets they need to get rid of. So that's another option for you as well.
Cool. Well, Wayne just brought up their website. Let's pop that up real fast so people can see what that looks like.
Ticks for a Night also, they do the shows, but also they do dinner options as well.
Yeah.
So you can go on there, you could get discounted tickets to say, I know I see the Harrah's buffet on there occasionally.
Right.
My wife Hannah's a big fan, loves the sushi there. So yeah, this is a walk-up service. You have to go to one of their booths. You're actually buying tickets just at a discounted price. Just to let people know, with the house seats, to get started on that on the ground level, they do have a 60-day trial type membership.
They do?
You can get in on the ground level for $39. Get you 2 tickets for the trial membership. And then if you want to go to the full year, you've got 2-person for a year and 4-person for a year options.
There you go.
But so minimum $39 to get in, get you those shows. Ticks for a Night, you're actually buying tickets to one specific show.
All right, that's why I misspoke. So I bought 4 tickets for just me and under my name. You've got 8 tickets. You do 4 for you and 4 for Marie? Okay. So the maximum is 4 tickets for an individual, and that was $160, I think, or
$169.
Okay. So it's great. I mean, I tell you what, I don't know how many shows we've seen here. 100? I mean, it's just been amazing that you can do that here. And the other thing is that the shows appreciate that kind of support. The intent, of course, is that locals will start talking about it among other locals, and that's pretty cool as well.
And
so,
real quick, Neon Vacation makes a great point in the chat. You will see sometimes Groupon specials, Living Social, Amazon Local. You will see sometimes those deals pop up to get those at an even more discounted price.
And I'll even give you another one. The station that syndicates our show, KSHP, they will oftentimes sell tickets to shows for deep discounts, 75% off. I've seen I've heard Carrot Top being on there. I think that what's that show with that cute girl at the luxury? What's that show? Fantasy. I think her show's been on there. Anyways, so that's KSHP. It's AM 1400 from 9 to 11. Then from 1 to 6, they're doing this basically discounted ticket kind of thing. Yes, Jacob?
From the live studio audience.
Oh, look at that.
Your adopted daughter just happened to mention Philiseat as well. And Philiseat actually does sometimes tickets to the UNLV games and sporting events.
No.
So there's a tip from the live studio audience for adopted daughter.
Look at that.
Or you could just be a season ticket holder like myself.
Like you. Right. Look at my kids are really helping out here. It's pretty. I'm a proud papa. Pop happy. Okay. So Paula and James, you guys are going to be living the good life, never having to pay for a thing again. Next question. This is from Heather. Hey there. Recently discovered your site. Enjoy it very much. My husband and I are considering a move to LV from Philadelphia. I lived near McCarran Airport for a few months after college in '92 and loved the city. We recently spent some time looking at real estate, nearly 40 homes, new and old. Everywhere we went, though, people mentioned the crime problem. All the homes we toured had alarm systems. And no area seemed to be immune, not even Lake Las Vegas. Well, and no one lives up there. That's why they're not immune. We were shocked to learn about the rate of home invasions and burglaries. Can you point to a realistic picture of this? Is crime really as bad as the statistics say? Where are the safer areas? Thanks from a potential future neighbor, Heather.
I think Celine's heart still lives on and on.
She does.
Like Las Vegas, but
it lives on and on. That's cute. Can I have another beer, please?
Yeah.
So it's a big city. I mean, like I said, we got 2 million people here, 3 major cities. There's North Las Vegas, and Henderson. And so, you're going to have big city problems like any place. Neighborhood we live up in Aliante, it's fine. Have we seen an increase in potential crimey kind of stuff? We have. I think we talked previously on a show about thinking that somebody may have gone through our backyard and dealing with that. So, yeah, I mean, it is happening a little bit, but there is a great website that if you're looking for a home, or even if you're renting, for that matter, in a home or apartment, condo, whatever, you must visit this site because it will answer your questions exactly about crime in that particular area and the type of crime. So instead of giving you this long website, we have it on our website, on the livinginlv.com website. We have a section called Moving Kit. If you look at the little light blue bar menu up there, you'll see it's the second from the right option there. And yeah, right there. And if you scroll down to the very bottom of this kit, and it gives you ideas of where to go for power and water and all that kind of stuff, the very last option, just below the school districts, is crime research. And this is a fascinating website. So you go in there and you tell it what you're looking for. You know, what kinds of crimes are you looking for? You can see on the website here, there's a ton of options: fights, burglary, accidents, mayhem, narcotics, robbery, all kinds of fun stuff, larceny, auto burglary. And so you check off what you want, the kinds of crimes that you're looking for, and you tell it where are you looking for. So you can give an address, or you can give cross streets. Like, for example, our studio is on the cross streets of Convention Center Drive and Paradise Road. And so you could go in there and say, take a look at this. And it's not the fastest website in the world. It does take a little time. But once it kind of grinds through the numbers, it puts up a map for you. And then on the map, it overlays all these different crimes in that particular area. So there you can see the intersection of Convention Center and Paradise. And all those little icons are the variety of crimes that you might see, in this case, right by our studio. And then what you can do is you hover over an icon and you click on it, and that particular crime, well, after it loads, will tell you what it was, the date, the time, what it was, and so on and so forth. So, for example, I can't see what it says there, but
Traffic accident.
Okay, so that was a traffic accident.
And then it looks like they fought because it says other disturbance.
Ah, right. You don't have insurance. So it gives you a good indication of what's going on there. So, right here, it's a pretty safe place. Now, of course, the Las Vegas Country Club is just off to the right of us, so you would hope that would be pretty nice. And it's great. We did that research when we first moved here. You'd be crazy not to do that research before coming here. And there are some areas where, there's a lot of stuff going on there. There's some areas in Summerlin where you'll see a lot of stuff. We occasionally check our area. Still pretty clear, but you're popping up with occasional accidents and occasional burglary kind of things. We have an alarm in our house, with ADT or whoever we are using. No, Monotronics is who we use. And actually, we might use somebody else, but that's a different story. Could be a sponsor. But you should do it. Have you been to that site?
I have, and you know what? I can't stress enough. Do your research. Go to the website. Deal with facts.
Yep.
Don't start asking random people you see, because when I first moved to town, I asked people, where's a good place to live? Where would you live? And people would tell me all sorts of things. Oh, don't get anywhere near East Las Vegas. Oh, you don't want to be in North Las Vegas. Oh, don't be anywhere near Boulder Highway. People give you these gross overgeneralizations,
Right.
and then you get on there and you actually look, and it's just wives' tales or what people hear.
Right.
Telephone game.
How long have you lived here?
I have lived here going on 4 years. It's been 3.5 years.
And are you happy that you're here?
I love it. You know what? I came from a city in Ohio by Cleveland, the suburbs, the Akron area. And you know what? The worst area here in Vegas is not any worse than the worst area in Akron. It's all a matter of where you go. Just be smart, Don't go strange places after dark.
Right.
Don't, just the same rules you would use where you came from,
Right.
use here and you'll be fine.
Right.
3.5 years, I haven't run into a single problem. And I've been in Summerlin, Aliante, North Las Vegas, East Las Vegas, all these places where you'd think it was a war zone.
Right.
If you're just talking to people.
Right.
And it's some of the nicest places you'll see.
Right. And then for our final question. Oh, God. My God, I think. Check our map.
Oh.
Final question. This comes from Joe Jono from Facebook, actually. Joe writes, Scott has a potential Las Vegas home buyer. I really like the last Living in Las Vegas podcast. Thanks for dissing the ones previous to that. I often hear you talk about your pool. I have seen several reasonably priced homes that have pools, and it sounds really cool. But I have never owned a home with a pool. I was wondering if you could talk about how much work is involved in taking care of your pool, or if you have pool service, talk about the estimated monthly expense, pool upkeep. Thanks. Okay. I wouldn't live here without a pool. That's just the way it works. That was
See, I do, and I don't mind not having it.
Really?
But you go first.
Okay. Well, this will be interesting. So Melissa and I, we made a deal when we moved here, which was we'll move here, and we want to move here because it's a groovy place, but it does get hot here in the summer. You know, when they say it's 115, which it'll definitely happen in the summer, that means in the shade, y'all. That's 115 degrees in the shade. It's about 25 degrees hotter in the sun, 140. So where I live,
Doing a little, but okay.
No, I'm telling you, it's 140 degrees in the sun. I'm telling you, it's hot.
I'll look. I want to see your meteorological.
I'm seeing it. I've seen animals die. We had 3 dogs. Now we have 2. We left one out. Just kidding. This is a joke, man.
For all you PETA fans,
That's right.
you can reach the Vegas Video Network, care of Scott Whitney.
Right. Okay. Thank you, PETA. So we love having a pool. Now, we spent out the nose for our pool when we bought it because everybody was building pools. And so they were just raping and pillaging people who wanted a pool. And I was one of the rapees. But I don't regret it because it's just so much fun on a hot day to jump in your 84 or 85 degree pool. Because that's the deal. But you think about it, it's 140 degrees outside, it's 85 degrees. That's a huge difference in temperature. It's good. So what's it cost? I don't know. It didn't really matter to me on getting the pool. No, it does. There is a cost involved, of course, to chemicals and upkeep, and things do break, and you have to deal with it. It's not huge. The water cost actually really wasn't that much. When we had our pool built, we had a problem, a leak, a 200-gallon-a-day leak that ended up being under our deck. I've told this story before, so I won't go into it again. But we had to drain and fill and drain and fill and drain our fill our pool 3 times over the course of about 2 weeks, I think it was. So you would think, ooh, that's going to be a lot of water. I don't know, it was about $70. I mean, it was nothing. The heating here can be expensive depending on how cool you keep the house or how warm you heat your pool, but it's not been egregious. A lot of folks have a pool service. You're looking at between $60 and $100 a month. They come out once a week. For me, it is so, as a matter of fact, if you need a pool service guy, I can recommend one. So if you do, email me and I'll give you his name. Anyways, so I would do it. I would live it. But there's other people who are young and naive who don't have a pool. Wayne?
I would not. Now, granted, I mean, things might be a little different in the ivory towers of Aliante where homes used to appreciate at $100,000 a year.
Yeah, not anymore.
However, here's my counterpoints against the pool. First off, it takes
Wayne,
up...
you ignorant slut.
It takes up... Oh, yeah. Takes
No,
up
I
your
can
back...
say that. Yeah.
That's not... Yeah, believe it, you can. Not one of the 7.
Not
Ask
one of
George
the-
Carlin.
Huh?
No, I guess you can't.
He's sleepy. He's doing a dirt nap.
Anti-pool because it takes up your backyard space.
Oh, that's what I like about it.
Okay. You've already talked about
What do you do in your backyard?
You got to get someone. You put some chairs out there.
I have chairs.
Well, you have a large-sized backyard. Someone like myself, I live in Henderson, 1,300 square foot house. Excuse me, I don't live at the Whitney Villa. 1,300 square foot house.
You've been to my house, not that big.
1,300 square foot house. The backyard, reasonable size. We have a large dog. He goes out. He enjoys his yard space. So you don't have to have it take up your yard. You don't have to have fencing around it, wondering if the neighbor's kid is going to wander into your pool and drown
I don't like the
himself.
neighbor's kid. Let him in.
Well, that's true.
He killed that 3rd dog.
Was it? Right? It was him now, huh?
They both did. In the
but,
pool.
you know, here's the thing. Here's why it's not a deal breaker. You got your maintenance costs, your upkeep, taking away your backyard. You don't have to have that. Here in Vegas, you know, in Ohio, you had to go to someone's house that had a pool or go to a public pool, pay to get in. Here in Vegas, there are so many places that you can use their pool for free.
Where?
The Rio. Show your driver's license. Locals get into their pool free anytime, day and night.
Well, the Ivies do that, John.
The Tropicana. Anywhere that has gaming in their pool area, by gaming control board law, has to let you in.
No.
Because otherwise that would make it a private club subject to a whole host of different set of rules. The Tropicana, swim up blackjack, they have to let you in. Caesar's Palace, swim up blackjack, they have to let you in. Other pools you can pay to get into. The Flamingo, if you want to swim down the Lazy Lagoon, or some of the different pools. Harrah's $5 to $15 a person, you can usually get in. But I mean, it's free.
Very good.
So why all the upkeep and maintenance, and you have to dig
I'll
it?
tell you why. I like to swim naked.
Well,
And-
and I'm glad you have a pool.
And the last time I tried that at the Tropicana, they asked me to, well, first of all, they gave me an upgrade. And then they asked me to leave. So there you go. Point, counterpoint. Pool, good. No pool,
Don't
good.
need it.
Next time I'm not inviting you to our pool party, I'll be telling you that right now. And with that, let's go ahead and finish the show. Thank you, Wayne.
Thank you, Scott.
You were lovely.
Oh, it's great to be your fourth option.
That's good. Fifth, whatever. It was good having Wayne here. Big hand for Wayne, everybody. Big hand for Wayne, everybody. Hey,
That's all right.
big hand for Wayne, everybody.
We can add that in post.
Right. Thanks to the studio audience. No, we're not going to applaud for you. Thanks for the live chat.
Oh, my
Again,
chat people.
If you want to reach out to us, onairq@livinginlv.com. You can do the toll-free number 866-966-4599. If you'd like to be adopted up here or be on the Friends page, you go to friends@livinginlv.com.
I was
Of course,
adopted. Look what it did for me.
that's right. You're on the show now because of the adoption. And you can check us out at, VegasVideoNetwork.com, iTunes, YouTube, Roku, and KSHP AM 1400. All right, that's it. And if you want to tweet us, and who wouldn't, Vegas Video NTWRK is our Twitter handle. And that's it. If you want to Facebook with Wayne, you can't, but his wife will do it for him. With that, I bid you adieu. I will see you next week with one of my naughty jelly somebodies. I don't know. Probably Melissa. That's it. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you later.
Take it.